The ocean was my home. For as long as I could remember, I had lived amongst the coral reefs with my pod. Our days were spent swimming through the warm water and hunting fish, while our nights were filled with singing and telling stories. But that was before she came along. It all started when a storm hit our reef, causing mass hysteria amongst my pod. Everyone was panicking, trying to find somewhere to hide, except me. I stayed put. Curiosity got the better of me. And for a young mermaid like myself, there was no greater thrill than exploring the unknown. As soon as the storm had passed, I swam out to see what had been brought to us by the current. And that's when I saw her sitting on one of the coral heads, all alone, a porcelain doll with painted-on features and flowing red hair. I wanted to approach her, but something was holding me back. Her eyes, they were pitch black and soulless. Was she the reason behind the storm? Had the ocean spirit sent her to destroy our reef? Whatever it was, I couldn't take my eyes off her. I'm not sure how long we stared at each other for. All I know is that when I finally broke the silence, my voice sounded hollow even to my own ears. "Who are you?" The doll tilted her head and suddenly began to speak. Her voice sounded like nails on a chalkboard. "You should be asking yourself, who are you?" I scoffed, as if I would let some creepy doll scare me. With that, I turned around to swim away, but she spoke again. "You can't escape what you're destined for." I ignored her and continued swimming until I heard her voice echo through the water, sending shivers down my spine. "Run, little mermaid, run! Your death approaches fast." I didn't feel threatened. Not really. So instead of running away, I decided to investigate further. I turned around and headed back towards her, determined to figure out what game she was playing. When I got closer, I realized that she wasn't just any doll. She was special, crafted with intricate detail, and dressed in a beautiful gown made of seaweed and pearls. I could tell immediately that she wasn't from around here. She belonged to the surface dwellers. As I approached her, I noticed a strange glow coming from her chest, almost as if her heart was beating with an eerie light. Curiosity got the better of me, and I reached out to touch it. But the moment my fingers made contact with her, a jolt of pain shot through my entire body. It felt like I had touched a live wire, and I recoiled immediately. "Why did you do that?" she asked, her voice dripping with venom. "You shouldn't touch what doesn't belong to you." I glared at her, anger replacing my initial fear. "What's your problem? Are you gonna hurt me?" The doll let out a chilling laugh that echoed through the water. "I am beyond that, little mermaid. I am pure evil incarnate. And you, my dear, are nothing but a plaything for me." Her words stung like a jellyfish sting, and I found myself consumed with rage. I lunged at her, my tail lashing out in a powerful sweep, but she was gone in a flash, disappearing into the coral reef. I searched for her, my anger growing with every passing moment, but I couldn't find her anywhere. Frustrated, I returned to my home, vowing to get to the bottom of this. My friends and family tried to warn me, telling me to leave the doll alone, but their concerns only fueled my determination. I had never been one to back down from a challenge, and this was no exception. As days turned into weeks, my obsession with the doll only grew stronger. I spent my time searching for clues, talking to anyone who might have seen or heard something. But the more I investigated, the more I realized just how deep this mystery went. The doll seemed to be connected to a dark force, something ancient and evil that lurked in the depths of the ocean. Then one day, as I was combing through some old Z charts, I stumbled upon a legend that sent chills down my spine. It told the tale of a cursed doll, a vessel for a powerful water demon. According to the legend, the doll was created by a witch who intended to use it as a tool for evil. But the demon within the doll had other plans. It broke free from its confines and possessed the doll, trapping the witch's soul within the porcelain body. The legend went on to say that the demon was drawn to the ocean, where it wreaked havoc, bringing storms and shipwrecks in its wake. The only way to defeat it, according to the prophecy, was to find the doll and destroy it. But doing so came at a great cost. Whoever destroyed the doll would have to face the demon in battle, and only the purest of heart could emerge victorious. The more I learned about the doll, the more I realized that I had made a terrible mistake by bringing her to our reef. She was a harbinger of destruction, a harbinger of death. But now that I knew the truth, I couldn't back down. I had to stop her. At first, I tried reasoning with her, begging her to leave our reef and bring her evil elsewhere. But my pleas fell on deaf ears. She was too far gone, consumed by darkness. So I had no choice. I challenged her to a fight to the death. She accepted my challenge with a wicked grin. So be it. Mermaid, you leave this world, and may your death be swift and painless. Her words were laced with venom, but I wasn't afraid. I knew that I had to do this for the sake of my pod, for the sake of our reef. With that, the fight began. She lunged at me first, her porcelain limbs flailing wildly. I dodged her attacks, feeling the rush of adrenaline as we fought. She was strong, stronger than she looked, and she fought with a wild abandon that was terrifying. But I matched her move for move, my tail whipping through the water, my trident flashing in the sunlight. As the fight raged on, I could feel myself becoming more and more exhausted. She wouldn't give me a moment's rest, and her attacks were relentless. Just when I thought I might be defeated, I remembered the legend, the prophecy that told of the doll's weakness. I had to destroy the doll. But how? In the midst of the battle, I couldn't risk losing focus for even a second. But then I had a realization. I could use her own magic against her. During our fight, I had noticed strange glowing orbs coming from her hands, orbs of pure energy. They were what she used to attack me, but they were also her weakness. With a sudden surge of strength, I lunged at her, grabbing onto those orbs and forcing them back into her. She screamed in agony as her own power turned against her, and I watched with grim satisfaction as the doll began to crack and crumble. Her eyes, once filled with dark energy, widened in fear, and she thrashed wildly, trying to free herself from her own curse. But it was too late. The doll shattered into 1,000 pieces, releasing a final burst of energy that sent me flying through the water. I struggled to keep myself upright, but my efforts were in vain. I was weak, injured, and utterly exhausted. As darkness closed in, I knew that my end was near. But before I lost consciousness, I saw it, a single tear rolling down the shattered doll's face. It was a tear of regret, a tear of sorrow. And in that moment, I understood the true cost of our battle. When I awoke, the first thing I saw was the concerned faces of my pod members surrounding me. They had found me after I had passed out from exhaustion, and they were tending to my wounds. I was alive, but barely. My body ached, my vision blurred, and I was weak. But I was alive. And as I looked around at my pod, I knew that it was worth it. Our reef was safe, our home protected. The doll and her curse were finally behind us. As the days passed, I slowly regained my strength. My pod took care of me, feeding me, watching over me, until I was well enough to return to my normal routine. But the experience changed me. I was no longer the curious, adventurous mermaid that I had been before. I had faced death and emerged victorious, but the cost of that victory had forever changed me. I was haunted by nightmares of the doll's shattered face, and the sound of her screams still echoed in my ears. The joy that had once filled my life was replaced by a deep sadness. The ocean, once my home, now felt like a prison. I couldn't bring myself to leave the safety of my reef. And the worst part was I didn't understand why. I had defeated the doll, saved my pod. Why was I still so afraid? It was then that I realized the truth. The doll hadn't just been a vessel for evil, she had been a reflection of it. And in defeating her, I had confronted the darkness within myself. The battle had been about more than just protecting our reef. It had been a battle between good and evil, a battle that raged within my own soul, and in the end, I had emerged victorious. But the scars of that battle, both physical and emotional, would forever remain with me.